Hey, everybody. Welcome to the Witches Movie Coven and our first year anniversary. Yes, indeed. Welcome to our anniversary party and congratulations to us and congratulations to you. So grab your goat, grab something to drink because we're going to talk about movies and a lot of other things tonight. Also, we have a contest coming up. And we're all giving away secret and magical things from each of our home collection, but you got to enter that first. So I don't know, do we want to do introductions first and then go into our top 10 list? And I am Patti Negri. I am one of your hosts. You might know me from The Witching Hour, my podcast, or from Ghost Adventures, or from my now work with the Ghost Finders. I am thrilled to be here. I am thrilled to be here with these four amazing people. At the end, we'll hold off to the end some new stuff we have coming up because I've got lots of TV things and lots of live events. But back Philip says to move on to Richard-Lael. Richard-Lael, say hi and then pass it on.
Hi, pass on.
No!
Hello, it's Richard-Lael. I am here in New Orleans, and I have a list of great movies, and then now I'll pass it on to Courtney because
that's me.
You.
Hi, I'm Courtney Buckley. I am Ghostbait on Scared and Alone, Salem Witch, and ready to share my top 10. And so honored to be sharing this 1-year anniversary with you guys. I'll pass it off to Jason.
I'm Jason. I've written 9 books for Llewellyn. I live in beautiful Silicon Valley, and I'm super excited to be talking about The Simpsons tonight. Woo!
Heather.
I have to echo that woo because I'm super excited to be talking about The Simpsons tonight, but I am more excited to be celebrating our 1-year anniversary. These other 4 magical, wonderful folks who are fantastic people and fantastic witches. So thank you for all being a part of this crazy journey we've had so far. So many good memories, and hopefully many more to come. And I am Heather Greene. I am the author of Lights, Camera, Witchcraft. I'm also a book editor at Llewellyn worldwide, as well as a journalist that covers occult and witchcraft and all good things like that.
Beautiful. Thank you. And yes, everybody keeps mentioning the top 10. That is what our contest is. Tonight, we're each going to give you our top 10 movies, but we want to know what you do. What would you like? We have a brand new, well, it's getting better by the minute, YouTube page. And to enter the contest, you have to go to our new Witches Movie Coven YouTube page. You have to like it, you have to subscribe to it, and you have to comment on today's episode and tell us what your favorite movie is. And if you do that by Friday the 13th, you will be enrolled in our contest to win fabulous prizes from each of us. Fabulous prizes. Because who wants to go into our first top 10 movie right now? Heather.
See that's just wrong right there. Okay, well, I think we're going to be having some videos with lots of explanation that you'll be able to see our reasoning for this. So right now we are just listing them, is my understanding, which is terribly difficult for someone who's a Gemini, especially a double Gemini. So I am going to do my best of just listing my top 10 witchy movies to watch during October, and here they go. 10, The Conjuring. 9, I Married a Witch. 8, Hocus Pocus 2. 7, Practical Magic. 6, The Craft, the original one. 5, Rosemary's Baby, the original one. 4, Pumpkinhead. You knew that was coming. 3, Bell Book and Candle. 2, The Witch. And 1, predictably, The Wizard of Oz.
Thank you. It is really hard not to comment why it is, but you did really good. All right, Richard-Lael.
So I have 10 as well. Let me turn on I have to get to my notes again. So I'm going to go the opposite order. I'm actually going to go number 1 to 10 because I like to be contrary. I'm a contrarian. So my number 1 film is The Haunted Castle. It was released in the United States as The Devil's Castle in 1897. Then we go to Haxan, 1922. It's a silent film, German. I'm not going to tell you. You could. Number 3, Betty Boop, Snow White, 1933. 1943, I Married a Witch. Rosemary's Baby, 1968. Race with the Devil, 1975. Elvira, 1988. Addams Family Values, 1993. The Witch, 2015. And The Witches, 1990 something. I forgot to look up that date.
Thank you. Very good. Jason.
It's not making comments is so hard. I want to make comments.
Hard.
You can do it, Jason. Hang in there.
Comments. These are my Halloween witch movies. Number 10, Halloween Town. Number 9, The House with a Clock in Its Walls. It has Jack Black and Cate Blanchett in it. Halloween 3, Season of the Witch. Number 7, Elvira, Mistress of the Dark. Number 6, The Book of Life. Number 5, Maleficent. Number 4, Practical Magic. Number 3, The Witch. Black Phillip is always in the top 3. Number 2, Hocus Pocus, and I'm including both movies, and the second one is my favorite. And number 1 is Coco.
Wow, good. Thank you very much. See, we're all very individual and different here. Courtney.
That's me. So I'd like to preface this by saying that the video with my explanations that's going to be released later on tonight, I skipped one because ADHD. So this list will include all of them, but number 5 in that video is missing. So my top 10 witchy movies for Halloween. Oh, I'm making a mess. My top 10 witchy movies for Halloween. Number 10 is Harry Potter and the Sorcerer's Stone. Number 9 is The Craft, the original one. Number 8 is Hereditary. 7 is Halloween Town. 6 is Room on the Broom. 5 is The Last Keepers. 4 is The Conjuring. 3 is Hocus Pocus. 2, Practical Magic. And number 1 is The Witch.
Beautiful. Thank you very much. On my top 10 list, I actually went 9 out of 10 almost of movies we have done because I can't remember all the other ones because my brain is very foggy in October. So except for 1 or 2, it's pretty much movies we've talked about because they're the freshest in my mind. So number 10 is The Love Witch. Number 9, The Blair Witch Project, actually one we haven't done. Number 8 is Hocus Pocus 2. Number 7 is The Witch. Number 6 is The Craft, the original. Number 5 is Halloween Town. Number 4, Hocus Pocus, the classic one. Number 3 is Practical Magic. Number 2 is Witches of Eastwick. And number 1 is Wizard of Oz, because those will always be my top 3. So that's mine. But we want to know yours.
Mm-hmm.
Subscribe. Patty, I must admire your Black Phillip before we talk about anything else because he's wearing something very special. I decorated mine with some beads. He really liked these, but you have something really special on yours.
He's wearing his passion power. Phillip has his passion power panties on, and you can have them too. Just go to mysterycontrol.com. Code Patty for 25% off. You could have matching cloaks like the rest of us. You could have matching underwear. You could have a Richard-Lael pillow. We're getting our pitch in early because shameless self-promotion is what we do. But humans slightly different, but you get a really big size. You could wear them just like this as well. Because they come teeny tiny to 5XL. So we have power panties for everybody. All right, so let's get back to this week's movie or not movie. We're moved on to TV. We've moved on we have moved on to The Simpsons. Bum, bum, bum. Okay, Simpsons. And we picked 4. I don't even have the paperwork out to. We picked 4 different Halloween episodes of The Simpsons that we thought we would specifically pick. This would not be in your book, right, Heather? Because
no, they are.
They are in your book? Okay,
Yes,
Heather, do you have any of your, or should we start with Richard-Lael?
It doesn't matter to me. It doesn't matter either way. And I'm going to be fair. I only watched 2 of the 4. So I am going to be, I'm a little bit out. I did watch that one, Redneck Broomsticks and whatever. Yes, that one. I did watch that one. Broomsticks and Rednecks or something.
Are you going to give us your wonderful review of
Okay,
that? Or
yes,
not
I
review, but
Unbiased.
I mean, you know what? I will give an unbiased review. It's The Simpsons, and it's like the Halloween Treehouse of Horror one. So, they're like 10 minutes. So The Simpsons. I liked the one. I don't remember which one was which because things. I liked the one that was in 1690 whatever, and they were in Salem, and they accuse Marge of being a witch, and they take this broom and they take her by the edge of the cliff, and they say, you either fly or you die as a good Christian woman. And then of course she flies. She's a witch, and she goes to her sisters, and are they the sisters or the cousins, aunties? Sisters. And they say, oh, you finally left him. Durwood, I think they call him. I think you just left Durwood. Marge says, no, she's not, that she had to protect her family. And then, of course, they decide that they're going to get even with the townsfolk, and they're going to come in and devour all of the children. And they get to, what's his name? I haven't watched The Simpsons in like 30 years.
Flanders house.
The Flanders house. And they are offered, instead of the children, gingerbread children, which the witches decide to devour. And then Marge says that it was a great idea to do that. She just wished that they would have gone to the Flanders house before they killed all of the children in town. And that was the very first Halloween. And then I'll quickly do the rednecks and broomsticks, or broomsticks and rednecks one. I have to admit, I wasn't paying too close of attention. So something Simpsons, something she joins a cult, something she's about science. And then the one says, no, that's not even my real name. My name is really Susie Death Satan or something.
Yes, Susie Death.
Yeah. And then there was something about, wasn't there one about creating a culture in a petri dish? I don't know. Things sort of blurred together, and I ran out of gas. Literally on my way back to here today, I ran out of gas, and I smell like gasoline. And so maybe it's just the fumes from my gas on my person that's not in my car, because my gas can is broken, and I was pouring gas and it poured on me in the rain. Anyway, fumes. It was great. That's it.
I feel like we already have this week's t-shirt, which should read something Simpsons.
something. I have gas. All right, now we are completely clear on those episodes of The Simpsons. Maybe we go to our scholarly information from Heather in her beautiful book.
Oh, okay. So Simpsons 1989 begins its reign in animated television, starting out in the Tracy Ullman Show, moving on into the 90s, when we started to see these type of shows, animated television, geared at more adult audiences in the primetime hour. And there were a number of them. This was not the only one, but really this is the beginning. And Simpsons sort of broke that wall down in many ways. And I'll give my opinion later about the various shows. But what you see, particularly in these four shows, is the development and the interest in television in projecting witchcraft properly. You see the episodes and the timelines when they come out, specifically of when they're treating different things, are adjacent to when the rest of television in Hollywood are treating them as well. The word Wicca, that's a big deal. We look at it now and go, oh yeah, Wicca, fun. This was a big deal. It's sort of almost analogous to X-Files, who also was one of the first to start using the term Wicca and starting to differentiate witches and Wiccans and Satanists and stuff during the Satanic Panic. So you see that coming through. You also see The Simpsons poking fun at the Satanic Panic in Rednecks and Broomsticks. That's the not in Rednecks. I'm sorry, not Rednecks and Broomsticks. In Easy Bake Coven, which is the one that Richard-Lael mentioned, and that is one of my favorite Simpsons episodes because it really the writers and the filmmakers here, the animators, are absolutely educated and on point, and they pack these things full. You could watch them over and over and watch for things over and over. You'll miss it, and you watch it again, you'll see new stuff. And in this episode, they're pulling from not just making fun of the Salem witch trials, which is a direct attack on the satanic panic, similar to the way the Crucible is. Sorry, Courtney, I had to mention it. And you know, you have a lot of satire here. You have a lot of making fun of our society, a lot of calling out of our society in The Simpsons in such a brilliant way, similar to what was said by the producers and the filmmakers of Bewitched. Is sometimes comedy can make a bigger political and social statement than drama. And the Bewitched people said that back in the 60s with the making of Bewitched. So you see that here way more poignantly. And I think that the Rednecks and Broomsticks, not so much the other two as Rednecks and Broomsticks and Easy Bake Coven. Those are the two most, but you see it throughout. And so that's what makes The Simpsons so brilliant in terms of witch films, into the progression and the representation of witchcraft in our television shows, as well as just generally speaking. I mean, you could take this way outside of witchcraft and see how The Simpsons is doing this. So I will spare you my personal opinions at this point, but there's so much we can talk about. My favorite quote is in the Easy Bake Coven, but I'll save that for later, because Courtney may have it and she'll do it much better than me.
I have a lot of quotes, but I also have a lot of I have a lot of thoughts also, specifically on Easy Bake Coven, if I can jump in for a second.
Wait. Hold on. The burning. Oh, yes. They probably know that burning is not.
Oh, hold on. Wait, because I'm not mad. I'm not mad.
Okay, good.
So I want to preface this by saying that I was not the target age for The Simpsons when it came out. I was 3, so I never really got into The Simpsons. I've never really said I've caught an episode here or there, bits and pieces of one, and I feel like I never was invested enough to find it funny or paid attention enough to it to enjoy it. And so I really sat down tonight, actually, before we came on, and I watched these 4 episodes. And I have to say, I started with Easy Bake Coven, and it started out strong because I've said it before, and I'll say it again, how much I hate when movies or TV shows do the Salem trope. But when they were standing there in the courtroom going, who else wants to accuse a witch? Why not? You looked at me the wrong way. Like, your laundry is whiter than my laundry. That's what it was like. Like, that did it justice for the first time, I felt like, ever in any movie that I've ever seen. And it was done in a comedic way and in a lighthearted way, but it was so close to like what it actually was like. I mean, granted, I'm sure that they didn't accuse each other specifically over laundry, but it was very much like just that tossing around of accusations during the witch trials. And it was the hysteria. And so it really, for me, captured that a lot. And then in addition to that, the tests that they were talking about doing, and they talked about this in multiple episodes, those were as ridiculous as they sound in The Simpsons. They were just as ridiculous in real life. So, pushing Marge off the cliff with the broom to see if she flew. They said if she falls, she's going to have a dignified Christian death. But if she flies, she's a witch. Well, in real life, they would they'd wrap them up in a sheet with some rocks or something tied to them, dump them in the water. If they floated, they were a witch. But if they sank, they were not. But if they sank, they died. Or they'd have them stick their hand in a pot of boiling water. And if they pulled their hand out and their hand was not burned, they were a witch and they'd be executed. But if their hand was burned, then they were not a witch, but they would get an infection and die. Like, it was just the most ridiculous stuff that actually happened. And this captured it so beautifully that I was cheering. I thought it was amazing. So those are my thoughts, at least on just Easy Bake Coven for now. When I tell you, I have a scrollable list of quotes because I enjoyed myself so thoroughly. So whenever you're ready for those, let me know.
Well, I just want to jump in just because that Easy Bake Coven, you have the start. It starts with Salem, then it goes to Wizard of Oz. Then you have a little Macbeth in there, and then you have our Halloween lore. So Easy Bake Coven really captures the American representation of witchcraft in popular culture and just folklorically, then just encapsulate it in one little Simpsons chunk in such an amazing way. That is what makes that. I mean, they caught it all. You have the green skin, you have the Macbeth cauldron with the three witches, and I love her sisters so much. I love doing that voice, just randomly comes out, just like because I'm from New York and these old, I love this. I love Marge's sisters, but just the whole thing, with the eating babies and the satanic panic. I mean, that is a brilliant episode. Absolutely brilliant.
It is a brilliant episode.
And it's not even the all-time greatest short from all of the Simpsons Halloween specials because they're all so good. Even the later ones are really, really good. After 35 years, I love the Simpsons so very, very much.
You go next, Jason.
Oh, are we just talking about Easy Bake Coven, or are we doing all of them? Are we doing all of them?
All of them.
Yeah. So the one that's in my mind the most is Rednecks and Broomsticks, and that's season 21, which is really late. Most Simpsons fans think the show jumped the shark in season 9, which is like just a little tiny blip now on like the whole history of the show. And it's funny, it's poignant, it really captures Wicca, I think especially, and about 2001. It has that sort of feel of a Llewellyn book without footnotes, where all of the history was just made up on the spot. Wicca is the world's most ancient religion kind of thing. And it's all there. But as much as you can make fun of that to a degree, the point of Wicca is that it's empowering. And I think that they capture that very, very well for all of the young women who are a part of the Coven. And that's what makes the episode work so well. They can poke fun at something, but there's like a heart to it as well, where yeah, we might think this is kind of funny, but we also realize what this gives you and how it can be good for you. And again, they also, as Heather's talking about making fun of the Satanic Panic, they also tweak Satanic Panic and bring that back in this episode and then make fun of all of those people for being so judgmental and so short-sighted and intolerant. It's a really great episode for season 21.
It is, and I'm jumping in just to add text, contextualize this, is that in 2001, that's when you see a lot of TV shows starting to use the word Wiccan and starting to use, and I'm talking about live action. I'm talking about Bones and Jag and CSI. You start to see this happening starting in the movies in late 2000s, and then by 2000 to 2010, there's a ton of movies, TV shows, and really carried the torch for Wiccans at this point, specifically using the words and specifically trying to represent as best they can. And you start to see more and more people who are hired as consultants more and more in the 2000s for TV shows. So The Simpsons were right in there. And, aside from all of the candles in that circle, when I was really worried about everybody's robes, catching on fire during their working circle. And I've seen that happen where there have been accidents in real life. So I'm like,
they were out in the snow though, right? I mean, it's a little safer because the weather was cold and there's frozen water everywhere. So maybe they don't do that in July. Maybe that Wiccan Coven only does that in January.
Yes.
Maybe they were fireproofed. Who's to say?
Maybe they were electric. We don't know, right?
We don't know. We know nothing. All right, Richard-Lael.
Well, you know what? I enjoy The Simpsons. I do love them. I haven't watched them in a very long time, partially because when I was growing up, my parents had just gotten over the fear of television, of like having a television, because they were afraid of demons coming through the screen. of course, it was the Satanic Panic, but then they got a television so they could watch the news. And I remember it was November. I think it was near Thanksgiving at some point, and The Simpsons were on, and I was enthralled. It was so fascinating. And my sister, who's much older, walked in and she turned it off and she said, "That's a horrible thing. That's a bad show. It teaches people to be bad." And I went, "It does? It does?" So, as an adult, I kind of watched a little bit, but I haven't watched it. But then rewatching this couple of episodes, it rekindled my love. They are so brilliant and well deserving of 35 years and probably 35 more, because they are so relevant. They just are relevant.
Absolutely.
There's a comment. Do people even like the word Wiccan? And one of the things that this episode is really illustrative of is how language has changed in the witchcraft community. Because for a long time, Wicca and witchcraft were used as synonyms pretty often in probably 90% of the literature out there. And when these shows were coming on in the late 90s, early 2000s, that was what was kind of adopted. This idea that Wicca is witchcraft and that they are the same thing and could be used interchangeably.
And
now we don't do. Now there's like a big kind of fracas about not doing that, and that Wiccans aren't witches, but that's like a whole other show.
That is a different story. And I think still in the UK, there is still groups that do use them interchangeably, but in TV shows at this point, they were using the term Wicca, and in movies specifically to launch a what I call a whitewashing in the book of witchcraft, to kind of parse out what's good and what is bad, to say Wicca is religion and we need to be, and it's a protected religion, and religion is protected, free speech, First Amendment, all that stuff. So TV shows were using the word Wicca in place of witchcraft. Witchcraft, if they used witchcraft, it usually was negative. If they used Wicca, they're not witches necessarily. They're the good witches. They're Wiccans. And so Wicca sort of helped in pop culture anyway. Wicca helped mainstream audiences more accepting to the concept that there were people that were practicing this legitimately. So that's what it did in the pop culture world. But as Jason said, it's a little different in the actual pagan community. There's been different conversations.
I mean, that is, I am not Wiccan. I have a lot of Wiccan friends. I have some Wiccan friends whom I love, and I am not a Wiccan. I'm a pagan, but I am not a Wiccan. Am I a witch? Yes, I am.
Yeah, I want to down to that too. Mary Jane, because she goes to our school, and I think what she said, to people even like the word Wicca. Yes, Wiccans love the word Wicca because it shows we are a legitimate religion. This is my belief system. But I think a lot of people who don't, I'm not Wiccan, I'm a witch, dang it, because I'm ceremonial, I'm thelemic, I'm this, I'm that, I'm chaos. They're seeing it very different. So I think both are really true. Wiccans love it. I really don't use the word Wiccan anymore and haven't for a few years. I started out Wiccan. I was very Wiccan, and I'm so eclectic now. I'm not un-Wiccan, but I'm not Wiccan. And I use too many other tradcraft and ceremony and all sorts of things that I don't use it anymore. So good question, Mary Jane. And I think everybody's going to give you a different answer.
Yeah, if I can chime in, actually. So I field that question a lot, where if I say I'm a witch, people will be like, "Oh, Wiccan, yeah, I've heard of that." And I'll have to be like, "No, not Wiccan." Because to me, in my head too, it's Wiccan is the religion and witchcraft is the craft. So I'm not a religious person, but I am a crafty person. And so that's how I differentiate. So I have to say, "Oh, nope, not Wiccan," two different things, and I have to explain it a lot. Not that I don't find it offensive. It doesn't hurt my feelings. No. I love that people have a label that, or a name of whatever it is that suits them. It's just two different things, to me at least.
Great question. Thanks, Mary Jane. Yeah, we are reading anything we need to go. Okay, we'll just keep going. So anyway, I guess I will talk next, but I do not have a lot to say. I like The Simpsons. I've always appreciated The Simpsons. I've never been a big overly fan of The Simpsons. Haven't watched it in years, though I haven't watched much of anything except when we have to do it for the Witches Movie Coven. It's a time thing. Religion of Nature. Okay, we'll get to that in a second. Well, we'll go there. But I watched all 4 of these episodes, and I was kind of going, oh yeah, I remember why they're good, and I like the witchcrafty stuff. I like the wit and the sense of humor and stuff, but they all mush together to me. They all mush together. I cannot, even maybe because I watched them all at once, maybe because I was tired. It's October, but I went Easy Bake, Coven, this, that. I would squish them all together. If you gave me $1 million right now to separate them, I couldn't.
And maybe it's because you smell like gasoline from your
I smell like gasoline right now, and I don't have my power panties on, so everything's out the window. He took them off me. My goat. No, that sounds bad.
No, Patty, no. Your Black Phillip is not the suggestive one. Mine is.
Yeah, you got
wow.
What happened to its butt?
This is the first. It was just a little hole.
Oh my goodness!
Some butthole magic, but now his wire came out of his leg, so he's just like open for business 24 hours a day. It's like a lot.
You need to send him to me. I need to fix him for you, Courtney.
Do. Patty saw him in person. He was like at Patty's table at Mass PowerCon being like, hello, everyone. Here I am. Put some power panties on me.
My Philip is very curious and very nervous at the same time.
Yeah, no comments on that.
My Philip has been to Europe and his butt is completely fine. I don't know how you can mistreat your Black Phillip like that.
I love him so much.
Okay, his butt's okay.
There's nothing white on my Phillip's butt.
Well, there's nothing white on his butt. That's white in his butt and his thigh area.
Yeah, I need to sew him up for you.
He needs help, Heather.
This sounds like a Simpsons episode.
Don't put him in the freezer. But don't put him in the freezer because he doesn't have any ectoplasm.
No. That's not going to happen.
No ectoplasm.
He just needs some stitching.
You guys out there, you really, really have to come to our YouTube page. Our producers, Rob and Christine, they are butthole magic.
That's another shirt, by the way.
Another shirt. We're doing so much. Our top 10s are on there and little clips and all sorts of really stuff. So please, we really need you to subscribe and follow and comment. And then tell your friends about us too, because we like you. Anyway, but that was my issue with The Simpsons, that as clever as it is and how many correct and intelligent writers that they have, that single dimension Simpsons things just overtook my little tiny brain.
Mm-hmm. I think the episode in Rednecks and Broomsticks, there's so much to see there outside of witchcraft. But I was sitting with 2 people who are not witches when I was watching it, and I actually introduced my own daughter to not witchcraft, to The Simpsons while we were watching these episodes when I was rewatching them, and then there was the question is, the ceremony, how close is it? How close was the ceremony? Of course, the ceremony in this was all of like 3 seconds. So it's not exactly a full Wiccan ceremony they're doing, but there were a couple elements that you could see based. And Jason, you can respond because every Wiccan ceremony is different. But there are she comes in perfect love. Well, she says in perfect faith and perfect. What does she say? In perfect faith and perfect trust?
I think it's perfect faith and perfect trust.
Perfect trust, which is that's not the one. I've never heard that one, but it's very close. In perfect love and perfect trust is, of course, the one that is, I think, more common in my experience. But I have personally never go into any kind of witchcraft ceremony or ritual experience or any religious or magical experience with any expectations of what's said and what's not in judgment of that. So, but in my experience, imperfect love and perfect trust. So there are some things that are based on it. There are some things, the robes, I didn't see, I didn't look closely at the way they tie their stuff or different various things, but there definitely was someone informing them if there wasn't a Wiccan person or witchcraft person there.
Or they read a book.
Well,
Or they read a book.
Or they read a book.
Yeah.
But you don't really get a good look at what they do ritual-wise. It's
No.
just little hints. They do talk about the goddess Lilith a lot, which I thought was a choice.
That was
You
a
know?
choice.
Yeah,
That was an
I mean-
interesting choice, Jason, I think.
Yeah, because I think the kind of default you'd probably just say goddess or maybe Hecate or probably the Morgan at that particular period of time, and it was Lilith. So I mean, she was popular,
Yeah,
but
I never.
but not that popular. So that was a surprise.
Yeah, I think it would have been somebody. It would have been somebody. It would have been, if it were more authentic, I agree with you. It would have been more of maybe a Celtic goddess or something a little bit different. But they do mention worship of nature. They do mention, or I don't know, remember if they use the word worship or not. They do use the word goddess. They do kind of parse it out a little bit, pretty well. So, and they're also teenagers, of course, pairing with what we know from the early 90s, from the mid 90s, and from all those TV shows. You're looking at Charm, Buffy, all these stuff. Are teenage girls, and they have a little bit progressive looks, different color hair, stuff like that. So you see that a little bit too. So it's not bad. It's not bad.
I felt like they had the attitude of an 18-year-old witch in 2001. I really felt that way, which isn't the best compliment in the world, but it's a confidence. Like they had this confidence. And a lot of young people, when they discover witchcraft, build this very real confidence, and it showed on the screen.
Yep. And like you said about it showing off, capturing the idea that witchcraft is about empowerment. You have that one part where Lisa is on the stand and she says, they made me feel accepted. They made me feel like, I don't remember her exact words, but maybe Courtney.
She was cool.
She was cool. But then on the stand, she said that she was cool, a nerd like her. But then on the stand, she said they accepted me or something like that.
Yeah.
And so that's very much something you hear from people who come into the pagan communities, even to this day, into the events and stuff. They say, oh, I feel like I belong here. I've never belonged anywhere else. So
there's an episode of The Simpsons later in the run where somebody mentions witchcraft and Lisa turns at them and goes, "It's called Wicca and it's empowering." And it wasn't a witch episode. It was just this one-off little line. And it's one of those lines that's just buried in my brain because I found it so powerful. And also it was on The Simpsons and they were shouting out to Wicca, which I thought was the coolest thing. But if you watch The Simpsons closely over the 35 years, there are really funny little shout-outs to pagan ideas and to witchcraft. When Ned Flanders is looking for a roommate, he's got like a little classified ad for a roommate, and it says "No pagans" on it, which I always thought was the funniest thing. One of the Simpsons Christmas episodes says "Have a swinging solstice" on it, and there are pictures of the Simpsons on the show as various Greek gods. I am sometimes convinced that there's a pagan on the writing staff, or that there was at some point in time.
Oh, I'm certain of it.
They just go to the well a lot there.
I'm certain of it.
I agree. So on that note, I hear we have some quotes.
Oh boy, do I. Oh boy, do I. All right. I have them broken down by episode. So for Easy Bake Coven, when they were burning the witches, one of the witches says, "See you in hell, Seymour." And he goes, "Goodbye, mother." And then this is the part that I started screaming out loud because I was like, yes, finally, an accurate representation of the witch trials. The judge yells, "Let us throw open the floor to wild accusations." It's like, I'm getting that tattooed like on my face. And then at one point Bart says, "Well, I'll be a son of a witch." And I thought that was funny. And then at the end, when they were trying to tempt them with the gingerbread I think it was Flanders said, "Are you sure you ladies wouldn't prefer," or maybe his wife, "Are you sure you ladies wouldn't prefer some gingerbread children instead? They're boneless." Now I have some longer ones for rednecks and broomsticks because there was just so many good ones. When they were doing one of the rituals in the woods, they said, "Let us leave this place in a manner most Wiccan." And the other one goes, "What are you talking about?" And she's like, "Text your mom to pick us up."
See, accuracy with Wiccans, right?
Yeah. And then they said, after Lisa's teacher, she's like trying not to, she didn't do her project, and it's her first late assignment, and then the teacher doesn't come in, so she says that the witches did it. So she goes back to the woods and to ask them about it, and they said, no, we don't harm people, but if the goddess chose to help you by giving Mrs. Hoover the Hershey squirts, then such is her divine wisdom. I thought that was funny. Okay, and then I was screaming at this one. I had to rewind it like 3 times because I was laughing too hard. Was it Flanders is looking through the window with the binoculars to the computer, and he's like, "Her Buddhism has led directly to witchcraft, and she's teleconferencing the devil using that computer from hell." And the son goes, "I think it says Dell." And then he's on the phone with the police and says, "We'll let the authorities sort that out." Then there's the court trial, and I had to pause it because outside the courthouse, first of all, in the courthouse it said like truth and justice for some or something like that, like for most. But then they had signs at the rally, and the sign said more spelling bees, less spells on bees, which was so stupid. And then it said NBC, like an acronym, and NBC now burn the Coven. It was like, okay, I need a t-shirt of that. And then I had to, again, I kept like catching these things and being like, did they just say that? Rewind it and then like rewatch it. But the newscaster said, "Double bubble, boil in trouble. Today, Springfield will see its first witch trials in 12 years. And I thought that was pretty funny. And now the only quote that I have from the Costume to Face Treehouse episode is a spell that I will now incorporate entirely into my practice. Because the witch says, "Taint of newt and scum of pond, thou shalt become the guise thou donned." And then someone goes, "Speak English, moron." And she goes, "I'm turning you into your costume." But the taint of newt instead of the eye of newt, I'm screaming. And then the hex of the hex in the city, the part that at this point I was like, it felt like a fever dream. But the leprechaun in Hex in the City, I was crying because he was so crazy. And then at the end, at the wedding, he says, "Cut me charms, stroke me clover, say me name." And I was like, oh, okay, cool. I love this. And then in Whiz Kids, someone said, "Look at that Lisa Simpson. She's got more wicked witchery than Stevie Nicks."
Yeah,
that's good. I heard that.
I thought of Patty when I heard that line.
Yeah.
I love that line. Yes.
You got my favorite one.
We didn't even talk
Which
about
one was
those
yours?
other episodes.
Oh,
we didn't talk about Hansel and Gretel, and we didn't talk about the Harry Potter episode from the Treehouse of Horror, which is interesting because that was way before the movies. I think it was a good solid year before a Harry Potter movie came out, and the books were the phenomenon, and they really kind of got the look of what the movies would be like.
Because the Simpsons predict the future.
Yes.
Well, let's just not go there, Richard-Lael. That's another conversation for another time. Different
Heather,
podcast.
What was your quote that you liked?
The one where Flanders is looking through the window. And he's looking at the Wikipedia, and that she's and one of them would said acne removal spells on the screen. That was great. And Flanders is hysterical in all these because he is the example of the right-wing Christian fundamentalist. And so like when he says in Easy Bake Coven, "That's 75 we burned today. I think that'll show God we're serious." Yeah. Oh my goodness. I love The Simpsons. That's all I need to say. I am totally agreeing with Jason. Like we're just big Simpsons fans. big Simpsons fans.
In Broomsticks and in what is it? Rednecks and Broomsticks. At the end of the episode, Lisa's talking to the Witch Coven, and she says, "No, thank you. I've been rational but nerdy my whole life, but these past few weeks, you girls made me feel cool. Cool. Me, Lisa Simpson." And to me, that really defines the entire episode. The sweetness of it and how it makes Lisa feel good to be accepted by these people who are much cooler than she is.
I almost cried for her right there. I mean,
Yeah.
I was like, "Oh, Lisa, I love you." I wanted to hug her.
I have. Sorry.
No, go ahead.
I was just gonna say I missed one. What Bart was saying to Lisa: "You're too young to be a witch. Savor the steps leading up to it. College anorexic, string of bad marriages, career disappointments, failed pottery shop, and then when you're old and alone, you can hit the witch thing hard." And I was like, "Ouch, ouch."
And let me add to that. After when we're watching that and that string of stuff came out, my daughter looked at me and says, "Was that your path?"
I didn't know you got a pottery shop.
Me neither. I looked and was like, "Really?"
I took a pottery class in high school. Does that count? I am old and alone now, so
You're not old, Courtney.
I'm hitting that witch thing hard.
If you're old, oh good God, no, you're the baby of the family.
You're the baby.
Maybe on the outside, but not on the inside.
That's all good.
Okay, well, that is our 4 episodes of Simpsons for Halloween. Do we have any? I guess we've talked about our favorite movies coming up. Do we know what we're doing next week? Have we talked about that yet?
I'm gonna have to pull up our list because we do have a schedule. So
Isn't it Halloween 3 Season of the Witch?
Oh.
I'm gonna do that right now and see what we have. It may be. We're getting spooky.
Getting spooky.
Yeah.
Producer Rob suggesting we redo The Witch.
We have a hard list though for October.
We do have a hard
Yes,
list.
we do, and I am pulling it up because we were so excited about The Simpsons, we totally forgot about and our anniversary. I think we forgot about our.
It's our anniversary. What do you get for a first anniversary? Like paper?
It's the first anniversary is paper, and for that my Cash App is and my Zelle is it's not paper anymore. But I'll take the electronic version. It's just fine.
Okay. Well, while she is looking that up, we are going to go into this is a contest. We want to know your favorite witch movies, and we really want you to subscribe to our new YouTube page and tell your friends about it. So if by Friday night, Friday the 13th, midnight, you go to our new Witches Movie Coven YouTube page, like it, subscribe it, and comment on this episode, your favorite movie or whatever you want to tell us. But we want to know your favorite movie. You will be enrolled in a contest where each of the 5 of us are going to pick a winner and send you amazing prizes from our personal collection.
I got a good one.
You got a good one?
Yeah, have you ever wanted a world championship wrestling belt? Well, here it is. This is what you're gonna get from me.
Have you ever wanted the Diet Dr. Pepper that I was drinking on last week's episode? There's nothing in it left, but there is an empty bottle coming your way.
That's good. That's funny.
I'm keeping mine a secret for a minute. And we will announce the winner next Wednesday, I believe. Right? We'll announce the winner next Wednesday.
Winners. There's going to be 5.
Winners. The 5 winners.
Mhm.
The 5 winners. So kiss up to us, all of us.
Didn't you have a movie trailer, Jason?
I did. I did finish it with 3 minutes to go before we started the episode. It's hard because I can't make fun of The Simpsons. So, but I gave it a go anyways. Here we go. Created by baby boomers, it's become the defining show of Generation X, though millennials will claim it for their own. Generation Z calls it that show our grandparents used to watch. And Generation Alpha. Wait, there's a Generation Alpha? We flipped the alphabet. Why didn't anybody tell me this? I'm so old. It's the show that devoted fanboys will tell you jumped the shark in season 9, and that the 24 seasons that came afterwards were nothing but those fanboys can eat my shorts. The Simpsons isn't as funny as it used to be, but it still rules. In Rednecks and Broomsticks, Homer becomes an expert moonshine taster, while the show makes fun of hillbillies. who really prefer to be called sons of the soil. But the real story is that Lisa embraces Wicca, complete with all the early 2000s tropes about Wicca. It's like a Scott Cunningham book come to life, despite not being perfect. It's a really awesome episode of The Simpsons, and is actually funny. The Simpsons is one of the greatest TV series of all time, and in a different episode, Lisa even says it's called Wicca and it's empowering. Empower yourself and watch all the witchy episodes of The Simpsons.
Yay!
Yay! This is good. You've got a talent there, Jason. So let's do that forever and
It
ever.
only took 50 years to find my calling. Reading 30 seconds worth of jokes on this show every week. That's it. Praise the goddess.
So now we are getting close. We've got just a few minutes left. Now we get to rate. I guess, do we rate all 4 of them together, or Simpsons in general, or each one?
All
Separate
4
them
together? Why
all
not?
together, because I can't separate them. Okay. All right. Here we go. Wands up, wands down. Everybody in the chat room, please let us know. Wands up or wands down?
Oh, or skulls up.
Or skulls up?
I'm giving 2 separate ones because this wand was made in Salem, and for the accurate representation of the Salem witch trials in Easy Bay Coven, that gets its own wand up.
Nice.
Okay, this is up,
Wands
up,
up.
up, and I'm almost up. I'm almost up. If it would be this if I could differentiate the episodes, but wands neutral. Jason, there we go. All right. So did we figure out what next week was?
Well, it's your birthday coming up, so we were letting you choose, or it's going to be Halloween 3. So that is the 2 options: is you choose a movie, or we do Halloween 3. One of your
choose
favorites?
Halloween 3. I will choose Halloween 3 because I'm a Libra and I don't like to make choices. Libra in the middle of the month. So Halloween 3 sounds fabulous and perfect because there's just a couple weeks before Halloween left. So let's do Halloween 3, my choice. So
can we talk about what Friday is again? Because I think it's a pretty special day, not just our
special day.
Yeah, it's not just our contest coming to an end, but I feel like we could all have something to say or sing to you maybe in advance of that.
Okay.
Everybody ready? Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to Patty. Happy birthday to you. Yay!
Thank you. Best birthday song ever.
Lowest birthday song ever.
Most interesting birthday song ever.
A new take on harmony. I liked it. Thank you guys. That actually is the first time somebody sang "Happy Birthday" to me this week. So
Yay!
So 2 more days to go, 2 more days to celebrate. So thank you, and honored to have you as my Coven family, and honored to have all you guys. Thank you for the birthday wishes out there. Anybody in LA, there is a Vampire Babylon salon if anybody wants to come. At Porvu.
You guys are at a funeral.
You sounded like a funeral.
It did.
It's impossible to sing "Happy Birthday" on these restream things. Like it never comes out right.
No,
it never works.
No, it's perfect. No, that was the best ever. So anyway, well, we have a couple minutes left. Everybody want to say what they have coming up? Anything like that? It's Halloween week-ish with 2 weeks to go. Courtney.
Okay, so this upcoming Friday, I'm going to be at Middleborough Town Hall, which we did an episode of Scared and Alone there. It was terrifying, and I'm going to be investigating. So I'm back in the saddle, and off I go. So that's going to be fun and exciting. And then that's it. Other than that, I live, breathe, October in Salem. So that'll be it for the rest of the month. But if you're in Salem, especially on a Saturday, it seems I'm in on Saturday. So if you're in Salem on a Saturday walking down Essex Street, come and find me and say hi and bring me a coffee because I'm going to need it.
Thank you. Richard-Lael.
I will be in Youngstown, Ohio, the 26th through the 28th, I think, 26th, 27th, 28th, 29th. And I will be here in New Orleans. I will be doing readings. I'm really easy to find. I am the Gentleman Psychic, and that's .com, and all of the ones online, excepting the fact that I will not be trying to get you to join the Illuminati, nor will I will not contact you for you to get a reading. You'll contact me. Easy peasy.
Thank you very much. Jason.
I'm Jason Mankey. I'm easy to find online because I am the grand leader of the Illuminati. This weekend, I will be in Memphis, Tennessee at the Gathering of Souls Comp Festival. And then November 11th, I will be at Las Vegas Pagan Pride Day.
Yeah. Beautiful. Thank you. Heather.
I'm here working with my authors, so I'm not going anywhere, although I do have a couple online talks that I'm going to be giving. I don't know yet if they are private. I haven't gotten that information yet. But if they are public, they are a question and answer movie watching witches that are going to be coming up in the next couple weeks. I will post them on my website, or most likely on my socials, saying, hey, Facebook, Threads, etc. Come on and join me. Also, come to my socials, all of them. I am doing a 31 days of animated witches in film, so you get to see a different witch each day. Probably spark some memories. So check that out. And I will be doing a couple giveaways at the end of the month of my book to inspire more people to watch movies and watch witch movies and enjoy the season. So thank you.
Perfect. Thank
Join
you.
me.
Yay, we will. I think we lost Richard-Lael, but he'll probably come back. Maybe he disappeared. He had gas. Friday, anybody in Los Angeles, there is Babylon, a vampire salon, which is our more intimate. I'm going to be doing a small seance. We're going to be doing some beautiful ritual. Vampires and their friends all welcome. No blood drinking whatsoever. That's not what we do. On the 20th, I'm going to be in the Dallas area at the very haunted Hill House. And you guys can come to that. I'm there with the ghost the Ghost Hunter girls, with Natalie and Sarah and myself and Alicia and Christy, all girl ghost hunting group. And you guys can come to, male and female and everything in the middle. Then I'm going to spend New Orleans, where Richard-Lael isn't, in New Orleans at the Vampire Ball there. We take over House of Blues for almost a week. And then I'm heading to Mid-Michigan for Mid-Michigan Paracon the first couple of days of November. So there's lots of places to see all of us. So come join us. Please like us, follow us on all our social media. Please go check out our new YouTube page that it's getting so pretty. And please go to mysterycontrol.com and get some merch. You can get everything from your toes on up. You can get Bro Witch shoes. You can get socks. You can get yoga outfits, pants, sweats, t-shirts, hoodies, all the undergarments you can want, hats and cloaks. We can dress you from the inside out at mysterycontrol.com. And remember, code Patty for 25% off. Shh, don't tell your friends. Tell everybody. 25% off Mystery Control. Any final words for everybody that you want to say? Because we are counting down. How many days to Halloween is it? 2.5 weeks?
20 days.
20 days.
So exciting.
Well, again, since we are witches, Halloween, we talk about Halloween a lot, but it's also Samhain. It's also, I don't know if we ever want to talk about Samhain, what it is for our pagan and or Wiccan and or witch and or whatever combination we want to call ourselves.
I think we should definitely introduce that. Definitely, and I think it's great that we've had some questions about Wicca and witchcraft in this show. I think we can add our 2 cents in. Those are good conversations to weave into our coven, definitely. And Samhain is coming up as well.
It is coming up. So let's talk about that next week as well. What it is to us.
Yeah,
I love that.
Yeah. And
on that note, we have one more thing to do. With or without Richard-Lael, he has gas. Okay.
and no power.
What do witches do? Let's count to 3. 1, 2, 3.